So I am back on here and I just looked at the clock and realized I don't have a ton of time to film this. So I may have to edit it later. But today's small business topic is also a fiber arts topic. So I was like, perfect. It works for everything. So what I have been working on today, besides laundry and groceries and random Monday morning things, so all the non-fun parts, what I've actually been working on today for my business, which in my opinion is the more fun part, has been actually reading through a bunch of emails from you guys. I sent out an email last weekend, so we've been busy. So past couple days, like 2 days ago, saying just anybody who gets my emails from my website, and it was just a short little email asking people to hit reply and let me know what, either if you were new to learning to spin on a wheel, like maybe you currently spin on a drop spindle but you're moving to a wheel, or sorry, piece of fuzz. Even if you are already at this point a good spinner and a happy, comfortable spinner, but like what either held you up the most as a new spinner moving to a spinning wheel, or what is currently hanging you up if that's where you're at now. And was just let everybody know I was going to be adding to my mini spinning the basics course, and that I just, sometimes when you get so deep into doing something, you can kind of forget, like back to the beginning, what it was that had originally been some of the pain points. So I was completely blown away. I figured I would get maybe 4 emails back from some people. And, I was like, oh, they'll probably all be people I know. So the lovebirds are being very excitable right now. I got so many emails back. So I spent a good bit of time this morning going through everybody's emails and copying and pasting. And a lot of it was so sweet, was from current seasoned or happy spinners that were trying to give advice or point out things that they maybe wanted more help on or had really tripped up on and wish they'd had more help on when they started. So I think it was just so great to see in the fiber arts community how much everybody was really wanting to like pay it forward and encourage new spinners to not get hung up, when you first start, to get past that point of just being like aggravated. So it was so great to, see what everybody was up to. And I got all the emails, and so I have compiled them into a Word document, and then I've gone through and kind of, obviously a lot of things kind of fell into maybe 4 different topics that people thought needed to be covered. And some of the topics, I have to admit, are already in my mini Spinning the Basics course, but of course they would have no way of knowing that, but they were things I had already kind of thought of. So I will go through and see, I'm going to go back and look and see if I need to add to any of those video topics I already have, maybe some more written out homework sort of explanations. But just my small business tip would be to just really, if you have any sort of an audience, I kind of hate the word audience, but if you have any sort of people that already buy from you, are interested in your services or what you do, it's kind of a fine line to walk, and I've heard it put both ways. And I think that there's good on both sides. The ideas being that on one hand, it is helpful in this case to survey your audience of what it is they're looking for, which is what I did, because this was a very technical sort of question. Like, what technical stuff do you need help in? The flip side of that coin is I've heard some people get overly hung up on, if you're, let's say you make earrings and you're launching, you're going to plan a new collection of earrings, people will get too hung up on polling their fans or audience or customers or whoever. And if you get a million different conflicting things, or everybody's asking for something that's like not what you as a creative entrepreneur are into, I don't know, everybody wants like blue elephant earrings, and you're like, I have zero love for blue elephant earrings, then that's, you kind of have to learn to follow your gut. But in this case, where I was trying to make sure I was covering all of my bases to be the most helpful for, adding information to an information product, I think this was a good idea. And I do from time to time, kind of take the temperature of where people are at, because I mean, with any industry, things can really change, as far as what people are interested in. And also just like your audience can change. Obviously I have kind of spinning sort of products for like making the yarn. If you're like, what are you talking about? If you don't know what I'm in. So either things like the wheels and the fiber subscriptions and the standalone fiber and that sort of thing, or even the courses that would teach that. So for a spinner audience, but then I also have popular knit kits and, you know, standalone yarn purchases and small business that are they're for knitters or crocheters. So those can obviously be two totally different audiences, or if like with me, I like to do both. So it could also be that way. And then I also have a book, and I'm making all these videos and would like to get, you know, obviously that's a passion and interest of mine more for the creative entrepreneur. So then, like, that's a whole thing. I have a book that's a whole topic and videos that are for, you know, more of the business, marketing, creative entrepreneur side as well. So for me, it can be useful to kind of ask my audience, you know, to kind of see, because I swear it does change. I've seen it change so many times between people that having, I feel like all of our spinner stuff will be real heavy and like not so much on yarn, and then it'll switch and all of a sudden everybody's like knitting cozy sweaters and wanting all the yarn, and the spinners are kind of just like, you know, hang along where they're at. So oh man, all my alarms are going off. So that was kind of my tip, is you have to learn how to walk that line between polling your audience and really getting insight from them, and then that helps get people engaged in what you're doing. So, you know, you could be watching this video and have had no clue that I have educational courses for learning to spin. I have a drop spindle. I have the mini spinning the basics one, which is what I'm talking about for like brand new spinners. That actually goes out. You get a free enrollment in that if you buy a wheel from my site. So I want you to get started on the right foot. And then I have the Dream Yarn course, which is very all-encompassing, and then art yarn. So, you know, there's a bunch. So by asking people's opinion and making this content, somebody could be watching this video that didn't know about that, and now they do, and that could be something they were interested in learning more about. So I think that's really useful that way. Okay, real quick, since I am talking about what it is that I'm adding, like I said, I got everybody's input, and I've organized it into some topics. So the topics for the spinner education portion of this video that I'm going to be kind of beefing up or adding to on my mini Spinning the Basics course is people really had a lot of questions about drafting. They said that drafting, getting consistency was something they definitely needed help with when they were starting, and I 100% agree. I know in the Dream Yarn course, and I'm going to go back and check, but I'm pretty positive a decent amount of information already in the mini course on drafting, because pre-drafting and then drafting while you're spinning are both super. I mean, I think that's one of the major building blocks of creating yarn that you're happy with, that you're not super stressed out about. So drafting, here I'm reading. I'm reading from my document I made here today. So I also have, people wanted a little help on getting a good rhythm going between like your feet and your hands. And I know that that's definitely second nature if you are spinning and you've been spinning a while, you don't even think about it. But when you're starting out, that can very much feel exactly like, what is it, trying to like pat your stomach and rub your head or chew gum, or all at the same time. Like, it can definitely feel like that. So that's a topic I'm going to be adding to. A lot of people had a request for just wanting to know more about spinning wheel parts and like kind of care, and I know I definitely already have a good bit of that in my mini Spinning the Basics course. There's some little diagrams, and I'll have a screen share after this. So that I know is already in there, but I will just make sure that that's covered, as well as understanding ratios and gears, which I know is a topic I've covered a lot here on YouTube. So you can check out my, I think, playlist for like how to for spinning, fiber arts fun sort of playlist on here. I know I've got some good videos on there, as well as videos in my Dream Yarn course, but I'm definitely going to make sure that that's covered well. I believe it is, but I'm going to go back and double check and maybe get some written homework for gears and ratios, which is basically controlling how fast or many rotations you get on the flyer head per pedal, push. So that was something people wanted help in, as well as consistency. And like I said, these are all things I know, I've done a lot of videos on. You can find them both free here on YouTube. Like I said, go explore my playlist. Any of the videos that are like help my yarns thick and twisty or uptake issues, those are kind of how sometimes I go through and change titles to try to be more searchable, because I was naming stuff all sorts of wacky things, throughout the years. But if you go check out my how-to playlist, there's a lot of free information already on that topic for consistency on YouTube, as well as more in-depth covered in my courses. So that's what I am excited about, going more in depth. Like I said, I feel like I've already covered a lot of that in video, but I'm definitely going to make some written out explanations to go with that, because I know personally from being someone who has dealt with learning disabilities and challenges that having things both visual and written down, and then kind of like thought process, is all important. So I'm excited.